We are continuing on our series that's really focused on our horizon destination and what does the journey look like as we move towards this destination. And if you haven't seen the last few videos, horizon destination is really a 10-year goal. There are some very specific reasons why I've changed the name, and there'll be a link in this email if you want to watch the video of the introduction, which explains why I made the changes and why a horizon destination is much clearer than calling it a 10-year goal. We are, no fear, in the land of long-term goals. That's really what a lot of this is about, is how do we manage and leverage the power of both long-term goals, which are 3 years to 10 years, and short-term goals, which are 1 to 2 years. That's really what this is about. So today, we're specifically going to talk about a topic that is fantastic, that it just happens to be nearing the middle of the calendar year. And this is a great time for this little check-in. I know, you're wondering, like, all right, so the middle of the year, what is that? Well, we're going into summer. That's one thing. And typically, research tells us that in the summer, we tend to be more distracted, and and less productive. And that's pretty much across the board. So what is a really good question to ask ourselves at this time of the year in particular to check in to gauge where we're at? It's simple. It's easy to do. And I will warn you, it's easy not to do. So here's the question to pose to yourself. When you think about the progress that you've made so far in this year, when you think about what that horizon destination is for you, what is your long-term goal, and the shorter-term goals you have set in place to continue moving you in the direction of your horizon destination. And remember, this is less precise when we're in a long-term goal than when we are in a short-term goal of a year or two. So that's the metric we're looking for. So when you really think about that, we generally fall into one of two buckets. The first one is, I am feeling good. I'm really starting to get some continuous momentum I'm able to maintain. I am accomplishing things, and I see myself inching towards my horizon destination. That's bucket one. Now, clearly, that's the bucket you want to be in. That's the bucket we all want to be in. And yet, there's another one. The other option is, are you feeling overwhelmed? Maybe that you are so determined, you have so much desire for your horizon destination, and you have leaned in hard. And yet, you're feeling that you're inconsistent. You go so hard that then you drop in exhaustion and maybe procrastination comes in. So your horizon destination is very clear, and yet you feel like you're pushing against resistance and that the only option is to continue pushing forward. Where do you land in which of those two buckets? Or most of the time, which of those two buckets? That is really a critical thing for us to understand at this point in the year. If you are feeling the overwhelm, maybe some frustration, you are likely not following your own natural rhythms. That's what happens. And when you are really determined, your first reaction is to lean into what you want, to just get over the hump. And there are moments that is true, and that is a great strategy. And yet when it carries on past a day or two, maybe a week, then it's really a warning sign. It's really something you want to pay attention to make some adjustments. This does not mean failure. You just now have some new information. When we launch on this journey, when you begin this journey towards your horizon destination, along the way, you are going to get information. You're going to get feedback. None of the feedback in and of itself is good or bad. It's all things to consider, and some of it may seem irrelevant and you discard it. If you are feeling less than content with your progress, this is a great time to pause. if you're in that bucket, again, this is not complicated. This is not huge. This is not something that you have to worry about you won't be able to handle. It's really quite simple. And like many other things, it is easy to do and easy not to do. Please do this. Generally, when we feel resistance, when we feel we're struggling and we're pushing through, it's generally an indicator that we're not paying attention to our natural rhythms. So what do you do about that? That's how you're feeling. Or maybe you're feeling like you're teetering between those two buckets and you want to get firmly in that bucket of really flow, contentment, consistency. These are some questions to begin with. The first one is, how much sleep do you need every night to feel rested and renewed? For me, it's 7 hours. I can go a night or two at 6, maybe even a little lower, and I am fine. If I get beyond 2 consecutive nights of less than that amount of sleep, I will start feeling it. So the first thing is to notice. You may not even know what your ideal amount of sleep is, and there's all kinds of legitimate reasons for that, and yet this is a great time to start experimenting. Pay attention. What is the amount of sleep you need? What are your activities during the day that renew you, that make you feel better? These are really important that we sprinkle in these renewal activities throughout our day. That's part of what keeps our energy up and our focus up. So for me, going for a walk outside, actually being outside in the summer, gardening, pulling a few weeds, taking Mimi, my black lab, for a walk, those are things that are renewing. I walk away from whatever I'm working on, and being outdoors for me is really renewing. What about you? What are your renewing activities? Conversation with someone, quick run. Maybe it is going outside and going for a walk. Maybe it's exercise. Pay attention and begin a list of the renewal activities that will fit into most days. Ideally, you will have a list of several things of different lengths so that when you feel the need for renewal, or even better, you just start putting it into your schedule, you have a list that you've pre-decided the ones that are going to work best for you. So those are 2 great strategies. When are you most productive? What part of the day are you most productive? And to do what? The answer to this question will allow you to start arranging your day to work with your natural rhythms. For me, my best time to work, my greatest focus, is in the morning. I seldom have meetings in the morning, very rarely before 10. I'm recording this video before 10. I can record videos quicker with fewer takes and less editing needed when I do it in the morning. That is when I have the most innovation. My curiosity is at the highest. What is your most productive time of day? And you may not know. And if you don't, simply like in half-hour blocks, just for a couple of days, set a timer. And when the timer goes off, how are you feeling? Feeling productive? Feeling good? This is really critically important to understand. When you have this knowledge, you can start arranging your day to leverage your most productive time. How about least productive time? And then what are the activities that you can put in that least productive time? For me, it's 3 to 4:30 in the afternoon. I am not creative at all. It is, however, a great time for me to go through email, maybe do a little bit of reading. So I can be productive during that low period for me when I put the correct task in the time period. Most productive, your least productive, and what are the types of tasks and projects that you want to schedule in those 2 buckets of time? Here's a last one that I almost forgot. It relates to your sleeping. What is your evening routine that sets you up for a great night of sleep? Yeah, what's your evening routine? Now try different things. Some people say it's screens, and screens really, they need to be off of screens. There's all sorts of things. Don't drink caffeine, don't have a cup of coffee in the evening, or at least the caffeinated kind. For me, I find that it's not so much screens, it's me unplugging from work. I can go through personal email, I can have conversations with people, I can play some solitaire on my phone, I can read a fiction book. Most of the time, will not read even a nonfiction personal growth book. It starts my mind going, and then I have difficulty slowing my mind down to fall asleep. So, what is an evening routine for you? Play with it, experiment. So, again, this is a great time of the year to really take a look at how we're feeling about our progress. And if we feel like we're pushing through, it likely is as simple as making some adjustments to work with our natural rhythms as opposed to ignoring them. So that's it for this week. Take a little time, play around with how much sleep do you need? What is your ideal evening activity? When are you most productive, and what are the best things to schedule then? And when are you least productive? And how can you honor the fact that is okay? Rest, renewal, and recovery are critical parts of our journey towards our horizon destination. See you next week.